Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You know, there are traditions in our world that have lasted for centuries. These are the traditions that we think are unshakable, the ones that seem to endure regardless of what else changes around us. And one of the most famous symbols of such tradition is the British Royal Guard. These soldiers, with their bright red tunics and tall bearskin hats, stand like statues at Buckingham Palace, the Tower of London, and other iconic British landmarks. They've become symbols of discipline and dedication, of composure and focus. When you see a royal guard, you see a figure of tradition, someone who holds fast to centuries of heritage and duty. The discipline of the royal guards is legendary. They are known for never reacting to distractions. People who visit Buckingham Palace and see them standing so still are always curious to see if they'll react to someone waving, shouting, or even trying to get a photo with them. And yet, no matter what happens, these guards remain stoic. They're trained not to flinch, not to smile, and not to react. The level of discipline they maintain is truly incredible. This strict protocol has been part of the British monarchy for hundreds of years, serving as a symbol of strength, resilience, and an unbreakable commitment to duty. But today, I want to share a story that's going to surprise you. Because recently, one of these royal guards broke protocol, and he did it for a truly heartwarming reason. This isn't just an ordinary story about someone bending the rules. It's a story about kindness, about compassion, and about what it means to be human. So sit back and let me take you to that unforgettable moment in front of Buckingham Palace. I promise, by the end of this video, you're going to see these guards in a whole new light. So let's set the scene. It was a regular day at Buckingham Palace. The sky was overcast, typical London weather, and there was a crowd of tourists gathered to catch a glimpse of the famous changing of the guard ceremony. Tourists from all around the world had come to witness this British tradition, to see the guards in their iconic uniforms and watch them march with military precision. There's something truly mesmerizing about it, the uniformity, the discipline, the sheer spectacle of it all. People were snapping photos, taking videos, and trying to capture every moment of this display of British heritage. Among the crowd was a family from abroad, visiting London for the first time. And with them was a little girl. Let's call her Emma. Emma was around 6 years old, with bright eyes and an infectious smile. You could tell she was filled with wonder as she looked up at the palace and the guards. For a child, seeing these impressive figures, standing so tall and serious, can be quite magical. But there was something extra special about Emma. Emma had a visible physical disability. She moved carefully with the help of crutches, but her spirit was unbreakable. She was as eager as anyone to see the palace and the guards up close, and her eyes sparkled with excitement. As Emma and her family stood near the guards, she was completely captivated. She looked up at one of the guards standing at his post, and there was this sense of awe in her eyes. This wasn't just any soldier to her. This was someone important, someone who represented all the stories she'd heard about bravery and heroism. And despite her own challenges, Emma wanted to do something special. She had a little gift prepared. It was a small British flag, one that she had decorated herself. It was her way of saying thank you and of showing respect for the guard and his role. With her little flag in hand, Emma tried to walk toward the guard. She was determined, but her crutches made it difficult to move quickly. Still, she pushed herself forward, her eyes locked on the guard, her heart set on giving him this little token of appreciation. Just as she was nearing him, however, something happened. Emma stumbled. One of her crutches slipped, and she began to lose her balance. She wobbled, trying to steady herself, but it was clear she was about to fall. And that's when the unexpected happened. The guard, this highly trained, incredibly disciplined figure, moved. And not just a small shift, but a real, genuine movement to help her. Without a second's hesitation, he broke protocol, stepped forward, and caught her before she could fall. Imagine the shock of the crowd. They were watching something completely unprecedented. Here was a royal guard, a figure known for his unflinching demeanor, helping a young girl in need. The entire crowd fell silent, completely captivated by what was unfolding. As he held Emma steady, the guard did something else surprising. He knelt down to her level. For everyone watching, this was a jaw-dropping moment. These guards never interact with the public like this. And yet here he was, down on one knee, looking Emma in the eyes, making sure she was okay. He smiled at her, a warm, reassuring smile, and took a little flag. This wasn't a guard, just doing his duty. This was a human being showing compassion and kindness. The reaction from the crowd was immediate. Once they processed what had happened, they broke into applause, cheering for the guard's unexpected act of compassion. The air was filled with admiration, with appreciation for this simple but powerful gesture. For Emma and her family, this was a moment they would never forget. It was a small act, yes, but it was a moment of profound kindness, a reminder that even those who seem unshakable are human too. Now, let's pause for a moment to think about what the guard's action meant. For a royal guard to break protocol is no small thing. They are trained rigorously to maintain discipline, and breaking stance could even lead to disciplinary action. But this guard didn't hesitate. He didn't think twice about what it might mean for his career. In that moment, he saw a young girl who needed help, and he acted. And here's the amazing part: the reason he acted wasn't just out of a general sense of kindness. As it turns out, this guard had a personal reason for his empathy. You see, this particular guard had a younger sibling with a similar disability to Emma's. Growing up, he had seen firsthand the courage it takes for a child with a physical challenge to navigate the world. He knew what it was like to watch someone you care about struggle with things most of us take for granted. He understood deeply how much a simple act of compassion could mean to someone like Emma. So when he saw her stumble, he didn't see just another tourist. He saw someone who reminded him of his sibling, someone he cared about deeply. After the event, Emma's family was so moved by what had happened that they decided to share the story on social media. They posted a heartfelt thank you to the guard, along with a photo of Emma, smiling proudly with her flag. And as you might expect, the post quickly went viral. People from all over the world saw it, and they were touched by the guard's kindness. The comments were filled with messages of gratitude, of admiration for his compassion, and of hope that this act of humanity would inspire others. The story didn't end there, though. The palace itself, which rarely comments on individual guards, acknowledged the incident. They released a statement, calling it a touching moment that reflected the values of compassion and understanding that the Royal Guard stands for. In their words, this guard's actions represented the best of British values, honor, duty, and compassion. It's rare for the palace to make statements like this, but the impact of the story was so great that they couldn't ignore it. Since then, this guard's story has continued to inspire people around the world. It's a reminder that sometimes humanity is more important than protocol. Yes, tradition and duty are important. They hold a society together. They create a sense of pride and identity. But moments like these show us that compassion is just as essential. In a world that can sometimes feel rigid and unfeeling, this guard's small act of kindness is a beacon of light, a reminder of what really matters. So what do you guys think? Should there be more flexibility for moments like these, even for guards with such strict protocols? Or does this story show us that sometimes it's okay to break the rules for a good reason? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story as inspiring as I did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an inspiring story like this one. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, sometimes the smallest actions can make the biggest difference. This guard's gesture was just a brief moment, but it created a lifetime of memories for Emma and her family, and it inspired countless others. Let's take that lesson to heart. Let's be kind, let's be compassionate, and let's remember that sometimes humanity is worth breaking the rules for. Until next time, stay compassionate, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the